All right, this is Quintus Curtius, and welcome back to the podcast. This podcast is going to be about being suspicious of those who claim to have perfect records. Be suspicious of the perfect record. You know, the other day I was just happened to be looking at some different things, had some floating through the internet, and I came across the biography of the great famous trial lawyer Jerry Spence, who now is 96 years old, I think. He lives in Wyoming. He's retired now, long retired. And obviously, Jerry Spence is one of the great trial lawyers of this century, and he certainly doesn't need any praise from me. He has a long and successful career in the law, many famous cases. But there's something about the way that his biographies are written, the blurbs on the back of his books, his biography in Wikipedia and in other places that I've seen. They always find a way to mention and to work into the biographical information this alleged fact that he never lost a trial, either as a prosecutor or as a civil attorney, representing plaintiffs. Never lost a trial. He has a perfect record. And, I understand that marketing and hyperbole are a common feature of this sort of thing, and we have to come to expect some of it at least. But I always found that type of claims of perfect records to be really off-putting, because it just doesn't mesh with anyone with real-world experience. I've been a lawyer now since 1998, and I've been trying cases, both in the areas of criminal defense and bankruptcy since, for 25 years. And I can tell you that losing trials is part of the game. It's a very in fact, you're going any lawyer who's actually out there doing work in the real world and representing real people, real clients, is going to have any lawyer of that sort is going to have a healthy acquaintance with losing, and that's just unavoidable. It doesn't mean that it doesn't matter how good or bad you are in advocacy. The reality is that some situations, some cases, some clients, some overall fact patterns are just inescapable, and no amount of advocacy is going to change that. And that's just the way it is. That's just the nature of the business. So when somebody says that they have a perfect record and they've never lost a case, it's like, okay, you want to say to yourself, okay, well, I was a prosecutor, my first job out of law school, and I never lost a case either as a prosecutor. But as a defense attorney, you ain't going to win all your cases. I can tell you that. It's not going to happen. That is, if you're doing real work and you're not cherry picking cases, and the same thing with the world of civil litigation. It's hard to win. It's not easy. And very often the cases that go to trial are the ones that have problems. That's why they go to trial. If they didn't have problems, they would settle. There would be some resolution to preclude a trial. So when you hear someone crow about their perfect record, it makes you think one of two things. Either, number one, they're not telling the whole truth, or two, they were cherry picking their cases to an extreme degree and worrying about their records to an inordinate degree, and not really putting themselves out there. Okay? Not really willing to take risks. Now, again, I am not criticizing Mr. Spence. He obviously is a brilliant and extremely successful trial attorney. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe he is the Alexander the Great of the legal profession, who never lost a battle, Never lost a battle, never lost a fight. He's that one in a million. And if that's the case, then hey, I stand corrected. But I don't know. I just I find it to be something that we should not really aspire to. Claiming to have a perfect record, I don't believe is something that someone should seek to wrap themselves with. Because again, I think it says that you're not really taking big enough risks. You're not taking the risks that you need to take. When someone says they have a perfect record, my response is going to be, well, are you learning anything? If you are not losing, you are not learning. If you're not losing, you're not learning. And I think that's a fact. I really do believe that. And I think in many ways our culture, our society, especially men today, have become very, very risk averse. They don't want to embarrass themselves. They don't want to lose. They don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to take risks. They don't want to take chances. And what this leads to, what this inevitably leads to, is something that we can call the zero defect mentality. The zero defect mentality. And that basically is a mindset, a frame of reference which says there should be no problems at all in anything. You should just go through life smooth sailing on a comfortable cushion of loveliness and never have to get your boots dirty and never have to get into the weeds and to fight it out like a true combatant. This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. Again, maybe there are some people out there that truly do have perfect records and they just have taken risk after risk after risk and they win all the time. And if that's the case, hey, God bless. If that is the case for them, then hey, keep it up, keep doing it. But those of us who are mortals, those of us who are real people, are creatures of flesh and blood, should not shy away from losing or the idea of losing. Get in there, learn what you can learn, take your knocks, and keep on rolling. Because if you ain't losing, you ain't learning. That's all for tonight. I'm Quintus Curtius. Good night.